I got triggered today, and I totally get why this triggered me so much. I felt being punished or left because of putting up boundaries. I felt a deep, very, very deep fear after putting them up. It felt extremely vulnerable to my system, like hits were about to come and to end up alone. This is what happened to me when I was a kid, I realized. I got yelled at, shamed for wanting things or being disrespectful, where actually I just put up boundaries or expressed my needs. I was literally hit, pushed out of the door, leave your key, abandoned, pulled on my hair, where the ones that I triggered got nuts. Believed abandonment strikes me very, very hard each time. And I very consciously say believed, as it is my perception, which is caused by trauma filter. It strikes me very hard when I see it happening to someone else, or when I experience it myself, or when I see it like a theme in a movie or music. All my cells, my complete survival system goes crazy, pushing me to do something to make this experienced risk go away, throwing literally everything it can find in my face: fear, hot flashes, nerves going nuts, thoughts racing through my mind, thoughts about ending up alone and being abandoned. It does literally everything it feels it has to do to restore love. This is an example of what a hurt inner child part of you can do to you. You get completely blindsided and you were not able to act on behalf of your higher self in the moment. Yet, maybe. If you practice enough, you will be able to notice all those parts of yourselves being there at the same time. I know in the moment also now that this is not real, that my perception is not real. This is conditioning and trauma. I recognize the hurts me in myself. I feel deep love for that part of me. It is okay. It is okay to see it. It is okay to partly be it. And it's okay to not being able to be above it or in control of it. That's also conditioning. There are a lot of spiritual teachers or coaches or whatever that think they might inspire, but actually telling you or showing you to be above it or in control of it, and that makes you like a very spiritual person. I acknowledge myself for my growth. Growth over results. And this is a big change for me because it's like 180 degrees the other way around now than it was. So now that I notice it, I choose to change this and rewire it. Consciously think, just actively choose thoughts to think like I am safe because of putting up boundaries, not despite of them. I love myself for putting up boundaries. I deserve relationships based on open communication and with respect to boundaries, whether getting them or not. I can have it all. Boundaries, self-love, love, and deep, deep, unconditional love from others. I choose to share this as it matters to me that we create a world where vulnerability, self-awareness, trauma, and not being on top of it fully, but growth and being 100% okay with it is normalized. Because I don't believe that sharing, look at me, how well I am doing, and take my advice, which is the I know perspective, is contributing to shifts. It contributes to making those who aren't there yet, where you are maybe, feel worse. And we're human after all. We're all human. We're all ahead of some people and not ahead of other people. Other people are ahead of us on different themes. And on one theme, one person can be ahead of you. And at the same time, the same person you can be ahead of that person in some other theme. It is not about being a good person or being successful or worthy or anything like that. You taking ownership is far more powerful than you trying to get everything right or to be perfect. So, this is not about making my parents or others that did things to me wrong, but about taking responsibility of myself, my happiness, and my future. We all have trauma. Big or small, we all have trauma. As soon as we start noticing, stop victimizing ourselves, and relocate that energy from judgment and victimization to inner work, then we experience expansion, freedom, love. And this is why I share, to spread love and light to those who need it. Because I know I am someone who needs it. We are all people who need it. So I wrote this all down. As you can see, I'm reading it in English because most of the time these things come to me in English. And I was writing it down while my son was not eating. So that triggered me as well. And while my mind was actually occupied with this trauma and dealing with this trauma, when I told myself to be calm, I have to be calm, this is not what a good mom does, it got worse. This is not helpful. So I got a piece of paper, taking all of this out of my system. As long as I don't do that, it will circulate and it will own me and I will not own it. So I wrote it down. He was sitting beside me, doing his stuff or not doing his stuff, not eating, and I start writing these down. And with every word I wrote down, I got more calm. And everything became more clear. And I even got inspired by it, making this video. So something good came out of it, at least I think so. So I could have told myself that this is being a bad mother, which is also conditioning about what a good mom is or supposed to be. But I believe this was me taking responsibility in the way I thought it would serve me. Taking full responsibility. And after this, I was able to tell him, sorry for lashing out. Sorry for overreacting to you not eating. Part of it was not about him. Part of it is not about you. Sorry, I scared you. It is not okay. And now what I did is not okay. And we are okay. And I looked him in the eye and I said, it is okay. It is okay. And I literally saw all the tension flowing out of his body. And it also was out of my body. So I actually became calm. Actually being calm. because I took responsibility to create calmness instead of telling myself that I had to be calm, which does not work. So that would be ignoring what actually was, not working through it, and so you have to work through it instead of around it. This type of being calm, being okay with parts of you being not okay, that is a very, very powerful thing, because this means you are not completely a marionette, not a puppet who reacts all the time based on conditioning. As soon as you notice and you find ways that work for you to be in touch with it and be okay with it, not judging it, but working with it, working through it instead of around it, or even make it worse because you ignore what is there and judge it, you can make very powerful decisions. Then that is where creation starts, and you start to shift from reacting to creating. This is actually also the essence of my one-day retreat, which is on October the 16th. A full day, not only hard work journaling, it's actually moving inward, just practicing consciousness, calmness, meditating, and become aware of these patterns and these conditions that are just in your system. And you're going to experience what it is like to be aware of them and even be in touch with them without acting on them, at least acting on them the way you did, and acting from a higher perspective, because you were able to regulate your nervous system and take charge like a mom of all your inner parts. So if this is something that resonates with you and is something you are dealing with or trying to deal with, you are very welcome. Sunday, October the 16th. And it will be a magical day, women only. So my goal is to create a very, very safe space where we can all go from there to there and just be with each other, be with all these parts of ourselves that we might not even recognize they are there, and feel what it's like to be able to completely relax, calm down your nervous system no matter what it hits, because we get hit all the time. I got hit today, I will get hit tomorrow probably, or several times. So this is the way to deal with it. And besides that, it's going to be a day completely for you in a magical surrounding, with very, very grounded energy. I will take care of that. I will make sure it is a very safe environment. And yeah, I'll hope to see you there if this resonates with you. And if you don't want to be there, but it resonates, or you're dealing with this kind of stuff, I hope it inspires you to keep working through it instead of around it. And that it's okay if you don't master it, because we don't have to master it. It's just as soon as you can acknowledge that you don't master it and you are wanting to learn, then you are in a very, very calm place. So I hope you have a good evening and that you get your inspiration from this video.